You're watching Tackle Talk Live, now into our 6th season as your #1 resource for bass tournament information, with a primary focus on both Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Your hosts, Iowa Pro staffer Steve Graff and Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, Kevin Jean. Two guys with years of successful tournament experience on all levels. Guys who understand the importance of good information. Anglers willing to share their knowledge to help you become a better angler. So pay close attention as these guys give you more insight on how, when, and where to catch winning stringers. Here are your hosts of Tackle Talk Live, Steve Graff and Kevin Jean.
That's right. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. You tuned into the right spot for all the information you want to know about Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend. Hopefully, we're going to give you some good insight today, because we got the man, the myth, the champion of the Toyota Series. We're going to have him on. By the way, I'm Iowa Pro staffer Steve Graff, along with Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, Kevin Jean, down there in Lafayette, Louisiana. Kevin, have you thought out, is any snow on the ground still?
No, we all snow's gone, Steve. Finally. It took a while, but it's finally all gone.
That's good. That's good. How's your back? You back in better shape?
We're back. We're getting better. It's tolerable now. I'm able to get up, move around a little bit. Went and seen a few dealers today. So it's getting better. Thank the good Lord.
Yeah, you got to start throwing batting practice for long.
Oh, I already did that. Steve, I did that Saturday. That was that hurt. That hurt a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but it's baby girl wants to go hit, we go hit.
We go hit. There you go. That's what you got to do. What you got to do, man.
There you go.
All right. As I've already alluded to, we had the Toyota Series. We're going to wrap that up today on Rayburn and Kevin. Despite the cold weather, they caught them, man. I mean, they caught them.
Shoot, Steve, they did, man. I did not expect them to catch them overall. I always expect one or two guys to catch them. But overall, they caught them pretty dang good. There was a lot of 23-plus pound bags weighed in. The winner, Brody Campbell, who we're going to have on here in a minute, had back-to-back 27-pound bags, finished it off with a 16, and on that final day, that wind was blowing. So, man, it showed out a lot more than I thought it was going to, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what Brody did. Again, this dude, he led it from wire to wire. I mean, day 1, 27, day 2, 27. Day 3, he had 16, but like you said, I think the wind had a huge impact on guys on that third day.
No, it definitely did. And, going into Cole Moore was about 9 pounds back after day 2 in second place. And, if anybody, he had Cole Moore, Kobe Miller, Dakota Ebear, sitting right there behind him. And I don't care how big of a lead you have, you're not comfortable going out on Sam Rayburn with those 3 guys behind you. Right. All of them can bust a 30, 35-pound bag very easily. So I know he was, and I read the write-up. He was, he wanted to make sure he get that 16, 17 pounds. To my understanding of reading it, it's not a place he did not feel very good about his practice. I really I look forward into jumping into all of that with him. Did not have a good practice. It kind of put it together on game day. So learn and hear how it all broke down for him.
And another time we're going to take a look at, we're going to go back to Fishers of Men that took place on January 18th at Lake of the Pines. And Kevin, it took over 30 pounds for somebody to win this event. I mean, Lake of the Pines may be the best kept secret in East Texas.
There's no doubt about it. And if it was just a little bit bigger, Steve, it could pull a lot more tournaments. It's just not quite big enough for a lot of these bigger tournaments. But man, it's got them. It's got some big ones, and it shows out. There's no doubt about it.
If there was a place that the state of Texas should invest in a body of water and create a really good tournament site, it's Lake of the Pines. They need a good tournament site fairly bad. It's an older lake. Yeah. I fished it when I was in high school. I mean, that's how long ago that's been. That's been the late 70s, so it's been around a long time. But anyway, again, our special guest today will be Brody Campbell. And Brody, Kevin, he has 5 wins. It's his second Toyota win. I believe that's what he told me. It's his second Toyota Series win. He's had 47 top 10s. He's won over $334,000 and out of 159 events. So this dude, he's a stick. He's pretty good. He knows what he's doing and had some success. And it carried over to Sam Rayburn this past weekend. So we'll get details from him and see how he finished this thing from led it from start to finish. I'm looking forward to having him on.
No, absolutely.
We got area lake levels for Rayburn, Toledo Bend, Lake of the Pines. We got a tip of the week along with Kevin's Shimano product preview, and all this and more today on Tackle Talk Live. Let's take a quick break. Recognize our awesome sponsors when we return. We'll visit with Brody Campbell. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category, Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
This is Tackle Talk Live. We appreciate you tuning us in today. Again, we're going to have a good interview here coming up with Brody. This segment presented by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Knee Outdoors, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. And if you go in there and you mention Tackle Talk Live, you got a choice. You can get $500 off a new or used boat or $50 off your first service ticket. But you got to say, hey. All right, the Tackle Talk Live hotline, we've got the man, the champion from the Toyota Series at Lake Sam Rayburn, Brody Campbell. And Brody, man, congratulations. Good job. I'm sure you're glad that that was probably a tournament. I'm sure you won it, but when you came off the water for the final time, I'll bet you were like, thank the Lord, this thing is over.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on. And I was. I mean, I knew what anybody was capable of catching a monster bag out on that lake. So when I came in with only 16 pounds on that final day, and I kind of ran around and talked to some guys and talked to the guys that I thought, could beat me, and I heard they didn't have big weights. I was just a big weight off my shoulders because I know it can happen out there. We didn't see a true giant Rayburn mega bag, and I knew it could happen, but it didn't, thankfully, for me at least.
Yeah. No, I understand that, definitely. Brody, I read your write-up on MLF. It's saying that you really didn't have a great practice. You kind of put it together on game day of day one. Let's start with practice. Kind of take us through practice, kind of what you saw, what you felt, kind of how did you think it would play out for you just going with practice?
Well, I didn't get a whole lot of practice. I jumped into the Bass Champs when I got down to Texas, and they have like an off-limits period. So I just went and played around on Toledo for a few days, and then when our official practice, when I actually could be on the water practicing, the weather was so bad. You guys know you got that big cold front and the wind and all that. It was brutal. And I'm from Ohio, and it was cold for me. So I didn't get a whole lot of good practice time, and we didn't find much in the champs or anything like that. I found one little area where I caught a 5-pounder Wednesday, the day before the tournament. I caught a 5-pounder in one little set of trees. And I just kind of kept panning around out there, and I seen 4 or 5 more. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start here because I caught one big one and see what happens. I didn't have any expectations of 27 pounds. I can tell you that. I was hoping to just catch a couple good fish and try and get a check and move on to the next one. Because I mean, I do this full time, so it's like I need to at least try and get my money back. So that's all I was really shooting for, honestly. I had no idea.
Yeah. Now, Brody, I'm not a big scoper. I will do it if I come across the right situation. I am doing it. Is this time of year, this getting into January, February, early pre-spawn, is this the best time to do scoping and allow you to do what you did for this tournament?
I mean, well, you guys probably know. I mean, all year is a good time, but this is one of the best times, especially with Rayburn right now lacking a lot of grass, and we had all that really cold weather, so it kind of really hurt those shallow fish. I mean, if we'd had warming trend, and some grass in the lake, heck, it could have been one up shallow. But just the weather. And the lack of grass and shallow water cover, it was just a perfect storm for somebody who went out offshore deep on suspended fish,
Yeah, with that water rising like it did on you guys, it definitely set up for that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Brody, let's go through day one. 27 pounds, wasn't expected. You said you found a spot in practice of Wednesday. Did you run straight to those fish? And my understanding is you ran to your spot and you stayed all day. And is this definitely a scoping deal? 25 to 30 foot of water. Again, read all this on the MLF page. So just kind of clarify a little bit of that for us. Is that the spot you found with the 5-pounder and a few other ones? Did you run right to it?
So there's a good story to that. So I actually, in the first morning of the tournament, my hot foot froze. And it was froze solid, like it wouldn't move. So I kept pushing on it. I pushed on it too hard and ended up breaking some of the aluminum off of it. So I had to, long story short, had to get a new hot foot installed. And I didn't leave the boat ramp until about 9. And I ran down the lake to this area, where I had that bite, but I started like a half mile early, like of that waypoint, because I was like, I'll just fish my way up to it. Well, the first fish I saw, I threw on, and it was an 8. It was an 8-pounder. So I actually caught it, it was maybe a half mile or so little area where I had that bite, but I started way earlier of it just by pure luck that I started there and ended up catching a big one. It wasn't like particularly a spot. It was more, they were just kind of out in an area, just suspended around. It was one here, one there. There wasn't many fish. I only caught 6 or 7 fish a day until that final day. I went to a different area and was catching them on off bait. Threadfin eaters and stuff. There was just a lot of little ones mixed in on that final day. But the first 2 days, it was just a general area, and I was just covering the water inside that, mile or so area of trees.
Now,
Brody, real quick, go over how you were catching it. What was your setup on this?
I was using a 3/8 ounce, just a jig head and just a 5-inch minnow, and I was using a Sakamata shad. Everybody's using them. And a couple other little deals I was using, mixing around with that. That's basically about it.
Now, Brody, on the write-up, you said 25 to 30 foot, and it was standing timber. How deep was those fish suspended?
Well, most of the time my boat was in between 30 and 50 foot, and the fish, a lot of them were down about 20 deep.
Okay. Gotcha. Did you have any?
Yeah, I was out over some deep water.
Yeah.
I know
did I have any what? Sorry.
Did you have any other boats around? You caught 27 pounds.
No, I didn't. I had one other boat kind of by me, and his Chad Mrazek, and that's who I travel with, my travel partner in these tournaments. Gotcha. He was kind of in the same area, but I was really left alone all week. It was, just a blessing. I didn't have anybody to fight with and juggle for position with in there. I was left alone and to do my thing in there. It was really a blessing this week.
Yeah, that's unusual, especially on Sam Rayburn. A lot of guys, especially the locals that you were competing against, they all know kind of where to go, what to do, and how to do it there. And for you to have an isolated area like that, kind of to yourself, that man, you got lucky, or you just did your homework and did a good job. And
I've seen it happen on a few of these lakes, like a guy that's coming from out of state or whatever that doesn't really know anything about the lake. They kind of sometimes stumble across things that the locals aren't really keyed in on. They kind of, you guys have your same deals. You got to be dragging a rig or throwing a crankbait on these hard spots or this and that. Somebody with some new fresh eyes comes in there and kind of busts a new deal open. I kind of think that's what happened out there, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it set up perfect for you for that too, because again, the water conditions and everything was not ideal, and it didn't give it took away from some of the home field advantage for sure for some of those locals that still caught them. I mean, look, y'all still caught them better than I thought y'all would. I mean, overall, I didn't think the waste was going to be exactly what they were, but man, y'all overall they caught them pretty well.
Yeah, they did. They did the first 2 days. I mean, we had perfect conditions. It was awesome to do what I wanted to do, should you say. I mean, we had slick, calm conditions, sunny skies. If the weather would have been like it was on the third day, I mean, I don't know, the weights probably would have went down a little bit because it was rough out there, I'll tell you that. But first 2 days, it was perfect. You know how the weather plays out there. We just had a perfect lineup for the first 2 days to really have some big weights.
Was water temperature a factor at all in this event for you? Did you find some warmer water that we're not in?
No, I really wasn't worried about the temperature. I was kind of dropping all week, but I had 49 degrees on that last day there is kind of what I was around.
So
the fish definitely were pretty lethargic. I will say that. Some of them bigger ones for sure.
Yeah.
So the last day, as you alluded to, the wind was blowing really bad. I mean, you went 27 day 1, 27 day 2, 15 and some change on day 3. I mean, was it the wind? I mean, you just couldn't stay in there on them. Was they still there?
Oh yeah, it was 100% the wind. They weren't really setting up like they were the first 2 days. I spent like an hour and a half out there trying to catch them with water coming over the front of my boat, back of my boat. But I really couldn't do it. I mean, there was just too big of waves out there. So I ended up just cutting it. I just pulled in. I ran to Veach. I found a little area in Veach where I'd caught some and went in there on some bait. Well, I caught them before, in years past, last year, and ran there, and there was just a pile of them in there on threadfin, and got lucky and was able to scrap up 16 pounds. I mean, I hadn't even fished in there this week.
Oh, wow.
I just ran in there on a whim, and they were there.
Yeah. What was your mental state of mind, Brody? Because we've all been there where, okay, I've had 2 good days. I'm leading this thing. God, dog, I only got 15, 16 pounds. Have I blown it? I know it had to be going through your head. I just blew this sucker.
It was, well, I knew once I caught, 16, somebody would have had to caught over 26 to catch me. And I felt like that would kind of do it with the weather, but man, yeah. I had it was a bad feeling because last year, I got 2 seconds last year in Toyota events and just barely missed them. So I know the feeling of losing, being close and losing. I didn't want to blow the awesome opportunity that I, set up the first 2 days. And trust me when I say I fished hard all day, and I fished hard for that 16 pounds. I can tell you that. But man, I was worried, but luckily nobody had a big bag.
All the scoping for those first 2 days, the 27 pounds, I mean, what was your average, let's just say, of per cast at a fish that you hooked up? I mean, did you just see that many?
No. I was probably 95% hook up.
Oh wow!
I mean, I only threw at a select few fish. Like I said earlier, there wasn't many fish out there. I was catching 7 or 8 a day, and I might have been seeing, freaking 10 big ones. I don't, it wasn't many. If I threw out them, I usually got them to bite. Yeah, I mean, they were just bitey out there. I don't think they were really pressured, and I don't know, they bit. I've been to some places where, heck, I'm catching 1 out of 10 or less than that.
Yeah,
But yeah, here
absolutely.
I wasn't very many targets, but the targets I had, they bit, I will say.
Yeah. Brody, question I got for you. How old are you, for one? And number two, what's your goal? Where are you trying to get to? Are you trying to get to the top? What's your goal?
Yeah, I'm 28 years old. Yeah, I do. I want to get to the top, man. I feel like I fish and I stay traveling on the road probably more than anybody else in the country right now, and I just want to get to the top of the fishing world. And it takes a lot to get there. I know some people know that are in the industry and realize that it's a freaking grind out here on the road. And I'm just looking for a big break to get me up there, and hopefully it's going to be this year.
You're
married with kids?
Yes,
Are you married
yeah.
with kids?
No. I've literally dedicated my life pretty much to fishing. I don't have kids, wife, anything. I live, sleep, breathe bass fishing, and that's what I want to do, man.
Well, that's what it takes.
Where are you at right now? What tournament you got next?
I'm on my way to Pickwick Lake for the Toyota event. Starts next week.
Okay, all right, good
All
deal.
right, man.
Good deal.
Yes, sir.
Brother,
Yeah,
we
you gotta
appreciate
stay
you.
after, and you gotta keep the skills honed in. You guys know.
Hey, we all know the more you're on the water, the better opportunity you got to get a win, because that's what it takes, time on the water. And man, you're a living example of that. And again, congratulations for your Toyota win. And I think you said it's your second one. Is that what you told me before? It's your second one?
Yeah, yes, sir, it is.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. We're going to be keeping up with you, dude. And hey, if you went over there at Pickwick, we may have you back on again. So good luck in that event.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I actually follow along with your guys' podcast, just trying to get a lake report or hear what's going on down there. So you guys keep doing your thing. You're doing a good job, and I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Right.
Good luck, man.
Yeah. All right. Brody Campbell, we heard it straight from the man. And Kevin, he looks like he had a good game. But to have an area, Kevin, to yourself on Sam Rayburn, dude, that's just hard to do, man. I mean,
well, and he said it, Steve. I mean, that, and for him to have a hookup ratio per cast like that,
yeah,
you're fishing for fish that have not been fished for on Sam Rayburn, because that is unheard of. When he said that, I was blown away. You're absolutely fishing for fish that have not seen a bait in a very, very long time.
Right.
So he got on something that is, as us as locals, we probably everybody ran right past it,
Yeah.
So it's we all tend to do the same thing. We all tend to go to the same places, but there's fish all over that lake that can win it, and that proves it right there.
We, as anglers, when we have history on a body of water, history can be your worst enemy at times. I've always heard even the greatest anglers that fish local, to win on your local body of water is the hardest thing to do, because you don't want to change. You think you know what you're supposed to be doing, and that's how you caught them before, and you think, man, that's what I got to go do. And somebody slips in there like a Brody Campbell and says, not this time. And so, again, congratulations to him. All right, when we return, we got lake levels. We've got tip of the week, Shimano product preview, upcoming tournaments. We're going to take one more break to recognize a few of our sponsors. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Bravos, Texas. Or give them a call at 936-205-4467. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to the final segment of Tackle Talk Live today. This segment presented by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Knee Outdoors, John Abraham and the gang down there at Cypress Knee, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. And Kevin, if you come in the door and you say, I heard it on Tackle Talk Live, what happens?
$500 off the purchase of any new or used boat of your choice right there. They got the Skeeter, they got Camus, they got it all. Or you can get $50 off your service ticket if you need to get anything worked on, get your oil changed, so on and so forth. Go by and tell them the guys at Tackle Talk Live sent you.
All right, real quick, Kevin, I didn't have it on the format, but I'm going to go over it real quick. Fishers of Men, Lake of the Pines, that was a couple of weeks ago, 118, January 18th. And I'm going to tell you, folks, if you haven't been to Lake of the Pines, this place is a great place to go, especially in the spring. The winner of this first tournament for the first time of the year for Fishers of Men, Trace Antunes and Jace Lindsay. They came in with 5 fish for 31.37 pounds. They had a 759 kicker. And to win that event, Glenn Webb, Rodney Bray finished second with 21.47, so 10-pound drop-off. But they had a 677 kicker. Let's see, Landon Wilson, Christopher Brazier, they finished third. They had a 21.18. They had an 886 kicker. Let's see, Bart Doty, Pake South, they were fourth with 20.21. Fifth was Adam Oliver, Jeff Rice. We both know those guys. They're good guys. I think it's Glenn Freeman's old partner. They had 19.88. Randy Deaver, a good friend of the program, good friend of mine and Kevin's. We know Randy and Brian Hester, too. That's a pretty good team right there. They finished sixth. They had 18.56 with a 954 big fish, which was big fish of the event. And and Jim Tutt, old Jim Tutt and Andrew Tutt, I assume that's his son probably. Jim Tutt, a former touring pro, he finished seventh on his home body of water. He had 17.9. Scott Maxwell, Joshua Bowling was eighth with 16.12. Let's see, around the top 10, Justin Margraves, and Chad Silvertooth finished 10th with 15.26. So, but a lot of fish were caught, especially from 15th on up. Guys you had to have over 13 pounds. And so a good turnout for this event, Kevin, and a good event.
Yeah, no, for sure, Steve. That lake this time of year, there's some mega bags. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Kevin, you got the Sam Rayburn results?
Yeah. Well, thought I did. Well, I just lost them there, Steve.
Well, I got it. Let me go real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. It was pulled up. Now it's not here no more. Go ahead.
We got Brody Campbell. Brody had 70.05 for his 3-day total. Caden Muck was second with 64.14. So basically a little less than 6 pound difference there. Dakota Ebear, touring pro, big time guy. He was local angler over there, big, good stick. Love Dakota. He finished third with 63.15. Marshall Hughes, another great angler from our region over there, Toledo Bend, Rayburn guy. He finished fourth with 60.12. Hayden Marbut was fifth with 57.06. Cole Moore, a guy we've had on the show before, sixth with 55.07. Mike Hawks was seventh with 55.02. Kobe Miller, we've had Kobe on. He was eighth with 54.10. Ninth was Chad Merzak, and with 53.02. Rounding out the top 10, Wesley Baxley was 10th with 51.08. The last check went to 29th place, Josh Jewell. He had to have 27.04 to get the last place check.
No, 2 days. 2 days.
Yeah, those were for 2 days, right. Only the top 20 went out on the final day.
Right.
And 20th place actually was Wyatt Frankins, who we've had on a couple of weeks ago. Wyatt finished 20th with 43.15, collected $2,400. So, but even for Toyota, pretty good turnout, Kevin. I think they had a pretty good turnout despite the cold weather.
Yeah, no, they did. They did for the first one. The first 2 days kind of stayed the same. First day, the second day. Day three, outside of the winter, everything scrambled. That wind just kind of threw everybody a curveball, and the weights really, not the weights, but the ranking, everybody's standings kind of went up. A lot of people went up, a lot of people went down, kind of vice versa. A lot of the ones that was catching some really big bags did not catch a big bag on day three. Some guys that were down in the pack came up. Caden, I think he had 26 pounds on day three, had a big bag. So Dakota to jump way up. So, hats off to those guys, man, for a brutal practice, because that was cold over there during their practice. So, definitely put together a great tournament for sure.
And our good friend of the program, good friend of ours, Nick LeBrun was 13th. Congratulations to Nick. He collected $2,400 as well. Todd Castledine, who is the big podcast guy, was 14th, and Lee Livesey was 15th. So some good sticks. Some good guys in that top 20. It was well represented with our local area. And congratulations to all you guys. Job well done, especially under the conditions they were. I saw Castledine in one of his podcasts, and he just I don't even want to go out here. It was just, there was nobody at the boat ramp, Kevin. No trailer. He showed up at 9 o'clock. There wasn't a boat in the parking lot. There was nobody there at Castle Boykin. And he was shocked. He said, I know it's cold. He said, but man, why am I even going out here?
Yeah. Ooh.
But
that's off, because that'd have been tough for me to do. I know you're fishing for a lot of money, but dang.
Yeah. It does make you second guess yourself. All right, upcoming tournaments, Kev, what we got?
Fishermen this weekend on Toledo Bend. I'm pretty sure they're going out of Fin and Feather. On Texas side, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it is this weekend, Toledo Bend. You need to get signed up if you haven't already.
Yeah. I wonder how many people are using the new park, at Pendleton, the new ramp at Pendleton. Boy, it's nice. They did a great job. State of Texas, kudos to you guys. Good job on that. It's a good-looking ramp. Great place for especially tournaments like on this level.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd want to hold a BFL or a Toyota series out of there, but it'll hold a lot of boats. I want to say it'll hold 150 boats probably. So, but anyway, January 30th, February 2nd, stage 1 for MLF, Lake Conroe. The big guys, the big dogs will be cranking up down there.
Day one of practice was today, and it was raining and miserable. But day one practice started today. So good luck to all of our locals fishing that team. We got a bunch of locals in that, dude.
We will.
Colby Miller, Justin Cooper, Nick LeBrun. We can go on down the list. We got a bunch of our local Toledo and Sam Rayburn guys, Louisiana guys in that. So good luck to all of them for sure.
Yes, that's exactly right. February 8th, Texas Team Trail number 1. Sam Rayburn will kick off not this weekend, but the next weekend. February 15th, ABA Pro League on Caddo Lake. Also on the 15th of February, Bass Champs number 2 will be taking place on Lake Fork at a Lake Fork Marina and Motel. Kevin, the 15th. BFL number 3 on Toledo Bend. How do you think by then, February 15th, middle of February, trap? Is that going to be a big trap bite?
Oh yeah, it's still going to be playing. It's according to what I'm hearing we have another little cold snap coming. It's according to what happens with that, but no, there absolutely be a trap bite still happen. Toledo Bend's on fire. They are catching them right now. I talked to a bunch of guys that went Saturday after the Toyota. They came over to Toledo Bend and just freaking whacked on them if they didn't make the cut. I talked to 3 guys that didn't make the cut, came to Toledo Bend and just whacked on them. It's on fire. It's fishing good. Again, you can do whatever you want to do, Steve. Go catch them. But there will be some big bags weighed in February 15th, no doubt, at that BFL on Toledo Bend. And then the very next weekend, February 27th, is that Toledo Bend, the Bass. Let's see, what's the
23rd?
No, the 22nd is the Toledo Bend Bass Series. That's one, and it's going to be north of the bridge. That they'll be doing that one as well. So those 2 weekends, there'll be some big bags waiting for Toledo Bend.
Yeah, February 22nd, Outlaw Outdoor Team Series number 2
Yep.
will be on Rayburn. And then the Bill Lewis Rattle Trap Tournament that got postponed from January till February 23rd. So it'll be taking place on February 23rd out of Humphrey. And then the Solo 150 kicks off their 3 tournament series February 28th and March the 1st out of Lake of the Pines, Lakeside Park right there on Lake of the Pines. I'm looking for that to have a really good turnout. A lot of talk this year about the Solo 150. A lot of guys looking to fish that. And I think a lot of it is just the fact that 3 of the BFLs will be in the books, and some guys are probably going to be looking for something else to fish. So it'd be a good time to start with the Solo 150 if you're interested in that. Great tournament trail run by Chris Way, and he does a great job. So, but anyway, all right. Tip of the week, guys. There's a lot of baits you can go out and you can scout with, especially this time of year. A trap, slow roll, a spinner bait. But I'm gonna tell you right now, an A-rig is an awesome bait, and I guarantee you it played a big role probably at Sam Rayburn this past weekend. It's a great time of year to throw it. It's a great for locating fish, but that bait, Kevin, and you well know it, and I know it, it will catch quality.
Oh, no doubt about it. This time of year, you better have one in your hand.
Yeah, exactly right. So like you go to Rayburn, you better have a Carolina rig tied. Well, you better have an A-rig tied on as well. And so that's my tip of the week. If you hadn't thrown an A-rig, there's YouTube videos on it. Check them out. It is a little cumbersome, especially if you've never thrown one before. You need the right setup. If you want to know what the right setup is, again, there's some good YouTube videos out there that will tell you what size rod, braid, fluorocarbon, whatever. It'll walk you through everything that you need to throw an A-rig. And I'm telling you right now, it's a great fish locator. It'll help you catch more fish. And Kevin, Shimano, you got a Shimano product or a Gill or what we got?
Well, it's actually this way we're going Jackal, which is Shimano is the distributor for here in the U.S. Going to talk a little bit about the Jackal Drift Fry. So, Steve, for all the guys that are looking for getting into the forward-face sonar fishing, this is a bait that you need to add to your arsenal for sure. For the forward-face sonar on a little jig head, little minnow head. It's a little bit different. This is what Fujita won the Toledo Bend Bassmaster Elite Series on last year on Toledo Bend. Hard to find right now, so if you can find them, you better stock up on them. All the local stores around Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn catch them, but they come in a 4-inch and a 5-inch. If you haven't got a packet, guys, this is one you really need to try out on that forward-face sonar. It acts a little bit different. It's got a different lip on it, as you can see right here. It's going to give a little bit different look than your regular forward-face sonar minnows. So Jackal Drift Fry, pick them out, give this one a try. I think you'll like these.
Kevin, this time of year, with the scope and all that, again, you're probably more of a scoper than I am, but you want a bigger bait this time of year, more of a bigger minnow, like anywhere from 4
It
to 5
really depends, Steve, on what bait you're looking at. But honestly, right now, people are going bigger. This time of year, it's always been a smaller deal, smaller bait, but it just like Brody, the bait he's fishing was a bigger bait. People are going a little bit bigger, that 5-6 inch range. Yeah.
Okay, good deal. All right, that's a little advice right there. Go a little bigger. All right, lake levels. Toledo Bend 168.83, 172 is pool. It's down 3.37 feet. And Kevin, with all this rain, we got they're talking 5 to 6 inches of rain coming by the end of this weekend. And so that's going to jump some bodies of water up a little bit. Maybe they're pulling down to get ready for that rain that's coming, I would assume.
I'm hoping that's the plan right there.
It's had a 10-day loss of 6.6 inches, 24-hour gain of 2.76. Sam Rayburn, 165.13. 164 is pool. It's 8.76 inches above pool right now. 10-day loss of 9.24 inches. So they're pulling on it right now as we speak as well. 24-hour loss, 1.2 inches. And Lake of the Pines, Kevin, I've been there. My buddy Brett Hortman, a friend of ours, and we're getting ready for the Solo 150 coming up over there at the end of February. When I was on the lake, it looked to me, I would have sworn that lake was a foot low. I mean, at least, over 2 foot low. It just looks so low to me, and everybody keeps telling me, no, it's at pool. Even the locals are like, no, it's at pool.
It's just been so high the last several years, Steve.
Maybe that's it, because when I look at the water line up on the bank, I'm like, that thing's 2 feet low. Well, finally the numbers are kind of correlating to that. 2.28 or 228.62 is where it's at right now. 230 is full. It's 1.38 feet down right now. And that's probably about right. 10-day loss of 1.21 feet and a 24-hour gain of 0.36 inches. So, but anyway.
Yeah, that lake's been so high over the last 3 or 4 years. You forget what lake level really is supposed to be on that lake. But it's been really high the last several years.
And see, I've never hit it when it's been real high. We've always hit it when it's been pool, right at pool, even a little bit low. We've never hit it. Anything I've fished over there, we've never hit that high water. And I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping it's like that. Because there's some bushes on that lake. I'm waiting to drop a jig in. I just like, oh my gosh. But anyhow, so anything else you got? That's the lake levels right there.
I think that does it for me for this week, Steve.
All right. Hey, folks, I had a guy come up to me at a restaurant the other day, said hello. Thank you for everything that me and Kevin talk about on here. He really appreciated it. He enjoys the program. If you see us out, don't hesitate to stop us and say hello. Introduce yourself. We always appreciate the feedback and lets us know somebody's watching. So
yeah,
we do thank you for that. All right. Appreciate you tuning us in. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, however way you listen to a podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please message us on our Facebook page. You'll be well rewarded. You'll get a lot of exposure through us. And Kevin will make sure he sends a detailed packet out to you. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.